Good to go.
In 3.
Estamos en vivo, damas y caballeros. Somos Long Live Boxing en Vivo Podcast. Como siempre, los tres locos amigos. Manny Marrero.
Shono Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper. Breaking it down like it is. Like it should be. ¿Cómo es que?
Como debe de ser.
Como debe de ser. Seguimos, damas y caballeros. Thank you so much for all your support. Episode 59. Boxing, and more boxing. It seems like everything's getting back to normal.
Yeah, to the point where we have a pay-per-view next weekend.
Pay-per-view, like it's like almost 2 main events in one.
2 different fight cards.
2 different fight cards, 2 different twins, 2 different times a day. Too much going on. Too much to pay. Touching on that one, at
least it's $175. It's not paid.
Yeah, it just you pay once. So let's kind of touch on that. I've been surprised about a couple of things, and I wanted your thoughts, my brothers, that, we're talking about the Charlo card next weekend, and we're going to have a little shindig dinner hangout with our brother at
Casa de Money.
It's going to be great.
Phenomenal with F.
Hide your plates.
PH complicated.
And your bowls. All right. It's gonna be awesome. We'll try to see if we can maybe get a little bit of live stream reaction to some of these great cards.
Definitely.
That are going to be happening and going on. But the thing is, not everybody has a great group of brothers like I do, and they might not be able to see the fight because it is, I've heard some people say that it's overpriced. Now, again, just hear me out because I know that Hopper, you're already saying these guys are clowns. But, just from the standpoint, we still in a pandemic. We still are having people with tough times. Do you feel, with all those things factored in, this being the first pandemic pay-per-view, 1, is the price too high? And 2, is it pay-per-view worthy? I mean, now that we know the price, now that we know all the names on there and how they're going to do it with basically like a day-night format, do you like that? And, or you think they're making a mistake? They're overplaying their hand? I love your thoughts.
And actually, is it going to be a day-night thing? Where they're going to have...
it's a card A and card B.
Card A. Last I said...
Card A, it's going to be Jermell and Charlo. Jermell against Rosario.
That's the B. That's the main one. The one that's at night.
And then the B one is Charlo against Jermell. Against Derby.
That's the first one.
Yeah, that's the
okay. So it's the opposite back and forth.
Yeah, that's the main. The first one's gonna be Riel Casemiro. He's gonna fight Duke Mika. That's gonna open up the thing at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's what I got. And then Damian Vasquez is fighting Brandon Figueroa in the co-main, and then the main event is Jermell versus Sergi. And then once that concludes, my understanding is there's gonna be a 30-minute intermission. And then the card for Jermell versus Jason Rosario takes place when you have Luis Neri fighting Aaron Almeida. And then Danny Roman is going to open that one against Juan Carlos Payano.
No, that's right. So, like, just to clarify for those out there, keep in mind, they're basing everything off of West Coast. So, like, if it's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern time, that's going to be in California, West Coast, like 4.
5.
So that is like a daytime.
Okay.
That's probably what they. Yeah. So $75 now for the fights that we just mentioned. And just the fact that the Charlo twins are actually fighting some people with some pulse, with some heartbeats, especially Jermell, who's taking on Sergey. That's the fight that I'm actually looking forward to the most. Is Jermell against Sergey? I can't wait for that one. And then Jermell against Bananas. Oh, it's going to be bananas. $75, I'd gladly pay it. And
I mean, if people will pay just to have only one of the Charlos fight and maybe 3, 4, 5 other fights.
And then you throw Brandon Figueroa in there, Danny Roman, Luis Neri.
It's an awesome card. I mean, like I said, but again, as we get talking, we get fired up, and we're boxing heads, so we have that feeling. But do you think that the casual fans will have any interest in the card, and will the price scare them off? Just being objective.
I think I don't think the Charlos are, and I say this a lot, are at that point where they're crossing over to the casuals that much. I know they'll be very supported in Texas and just overall the hardcore fans, but I can't see this one crossing over to the mainstream as much as I would want it to, because it's a great card. It's a great fight. The only thing that we could do is probably just share the information. It's a shame.
Well, I
don't
think
it'll get
what's
the
going to
love that it
happen. What's going to
deserves.
happen is some of these casual fans know someone that's a hardcore boxing fan, and that they know they're going to get the pay-per-view, and they're just going to jump on the wagon and be with them. Everyone, there's going to be a lot of scene, but you're right. I don't think it will cross to the point that it's a must see for anyone else.
No.
I don't know. I know there's a UFC fight coming up soon. I don't know if it's that same weekend or not. Is that same weekend? So that's what my concern is.
And there's also
it will be competing against the UFC.
Not only that, but there's also the WBSS, the cruiserweight final, or the final between Bridas and Durticos. That final is going to be on that same day as well as the 20th, but it's going to be early because they're fighting in, if I'm not mistaken, either Germany or Russia. The country just drew a blank. But that's happening on that same day
and
as
then
well.
Also, too, like we were talking about when the calendar first came out, that these mainstream sports are getting their act together, and now they're in full swing. The NBA is off and running with their bubble. NFL, baseball. I mean, so they're all eyes that are being pulled away from a potential event. So, like I said,
so Sean, you feel like it's probably when we're talking about this, maybe the same night, the next day. We're talking about that really it didn't really meet the expectations in terms of the numbers.
Yeah, you're starting to read my mind, which scares me, Manny. But what I'm basically saying here is that, man, we could be on the precipice, and I don't know if I'm saying it in the right context, of a huge card that we're super excited about.
Very excited
that's
about
going to fail.
That's the reality of the situation, especially now during the pandemic. I can't. It's gonna be hard for it to hit. But what do you guys think? Pay-per-view numbers. What do you expect it to hit? If it hits 200,000, in my opinion, that's a success.
I was expecting
low.
I was expecting 350 to 375 were my numbers.
That's fantastic.
That's what I'm thinking. But I wasn't really taking in consideration of the other sporting events that we just talked about and I heard about today. Of course, the UFC. So I don't know if that's going to take a toll. All I know is all eyes are
the boxing world will watch this. I mean, the fans in the UK will, Sergey's fans over there, Bananas fans in Dominican. The different countries will definitely tune in, and then plus you got Luis Neri. He'll touch into the Mexicanos. Brandon Figueroa.
Yeah, see that's the thing where I'm so hyped. I'm so hyped about next weekend and hanging out with you guys and just having fun talking boxing. It's gonna be amazing, and hopefully we do get a chance to stream so you guys can see how actually nutty we are
outside the cameras,
outside of the lovely MZ studio off of
beautiful
palace. So here's the thing, though, I'm thinking it's gonna be like low 150.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, like. I'm a numbers guy and I deal with logic. So you gotta look at all the competition. So you got the NBA playoffs,
and then plus the Pirates.
Right,
they're gonna illegally.
That's another thing too. Like let's put it out there for all the Wilder fans and PBC hardcores.
Football,
PBC cards, and for whatever reason they get streamed hard. It's hardcore.
Yep.
Like so. People will be watching it. We'll be like, oh, man, it's blowing up. People are all over Twitter. It's hashtag this, hashtag that. Mm-hmm. But are they paying for it? So that's the thing. Like, we will talk in terms of wanting the sport to grow.
Boosting the...
So, yeah, it's going to be a swashbuckling pirate event, baby. I don't think...
my booty.
I think we're going to be probably one in the minority in terms of people actually paying and watching it. And then even us watching it.
I got 5 on it.
Yeah.
Manny, I got
But think about it. We got, 3 households among us, right? And we're all going to be watching it.
We're watching that, Manny.
We're part of the problem. So that's my thing because, obviously... I got financial limitations, so I'm not going to pretend. But
you tell me, I'm poor.
Big time.
Don't we all?
I gotta
donate, please.
I got to save up to be poor. I do.
I got to ask to be poor. Can I be poor?
I text my bank the other day, fellas. For real, I text my bank my bank account balance, and they replied, "LOL."
Wow.
That's depressing.
That's where we're at.
I'm glad we got boxing.
Yeah, so that's it. But do we? So now that we're at the point where we have pay for boxing, I am concerned about such a amazing card that they put so much time and effort in. I'm also kind of questioning, did they make the right strategy on making this a pay-per-view? Like, how much more excited would you be? And again, I'm a brokey. How much more excited would you guys be if this was just straight up on Fox?
If it was on Fox, it'd be great. But I don't think we'd have this depth in terms of overall.
You wouldn't have both
probably
of
just
Charlos.
have maybe both Charlos
maybe
and
one
then 2 other
Charlo
fights.
No, maybe one Charlo and a couple and 3 other
and
fights.
A partridge
But both of them.
one Charlo.
One Charlo.
Hey, we're going to get one Charlo. Pick one. Big Charlo, little Charlo.
Jermell. Which one?
No, but but yeah, I mean, that's kind of the pick your poison. We get a card that we're excited about, but, and it's so weird because right now, especially with the whole trial thing with Canelo, people are saying, oh, this is the death of the DAZN app. But, here we are on the precipice. I'm going to say it again. I'm pretty sure I said it the right way, of a pay-per-view that's damn good, and we know it's going to bomb like crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's, man.
Well, we might be pleasantly surprised.
You'll be surprised. Don't get over your head right now. I think you'll be surprised at the numbers. I don't think they'll reach all-time high. But
so you're saying higher than 150? Because I'm saying like 150.
I do. I think it will reach the 300s. I would think so. I mean, there's a lot of following. There's a lot of marketing they're doing. I get the other events. The only thing that really concerns me: no basketball, no anything else, no college football. The only thing that would concern me is the UFC, because we have a lot of people that are boxing fans, but they're crossing over the fence, like very consistent. So in this particular case, when you got the UFC and you got to pay UFC and you got to pay also the boxing, what are you going to do?
Well, yeah, this is, I heard this on his channel. Shout out to him, Lion Killer. He does a show called, Blood and Gloves with Christine Lopez. Shout out to her.
Shout out, Christine.
Much love. That it made me really think that he said not just the standpoint of just the quality of death, because he does agree with us that this card is going to be phenomenal from the boxing standpoint, but they've maybe started promoting it too late, because the UFC card has been promoting for 6 months, just nonstop.
Well, remember that UFC started, and they were kind of like the blueprint to everything else, and then they gave a path to ESPN. I mean, if you think about it, when was it the first fight that, they came up with?
It was the UFC, I believe, was the first.
Yeah, it was the first fight.
UFC,
but what I'm saying is PBC, all right, and Fox, when they started throwing cards, it was a little bit later than anyone else. And when they opened up the entire fall schedule, we had ESPN Plus, we had Top Ranks, we had already the Zona, Eddie Hearn.
That's a great point.
They had a lot of cards already scheduled, and then PBC said, all right, it's my time to jump in. You're right. It was a little bit late, but it was due to the circumstances that I think they were kind of holding back to understand.
They waited for Top Rank Summer Series to end.
Like the next day.
They announced it the next day.
Exactly. The next day they announced it. So they waited. Was it late? Absolutely. But I think the way they brought it on and showing the entire cards and, having the Charlos, which they are their biggest assets right now, besides Wilder.
I thought you were going to call them asses.
Oh, they are that.
They're that assets.
They're definitely that.
Besides Wilder, but I think they're the biggest top price money guys they currently have right now. I think
Spence and Danny.
Well, yeah, but when it comes to the way they're marketing these two guys at the level, at the division, and they're promoting themselves to possibly eventually hit the major jackpot with the cash cow. That's what they want. That's what they're looking for. Is it going to happen? That's I don't know what the heck's going to happen Canelo. But I think the reality is people may want to, and if they start hyping up these fights with possible future fights with Canelo, I think they'll do a lot better, because now people will be interested in saying, who are they trying to put Canelo against? And that's one of the things I've been against of, especially with the way they're, all that stuff happened with Canelo. But I think right now the best of those divisions, and it's going to prove themselves in September 26th, they're going to have to look forward to do something different and try to go behind, the biggest names in boxing and making those fights happen, especially at the 154, 160.
No, I like that. And kind of going with that same trend going with the PBC, I guess half man, half disappointment, showing his disappointment today. I've been thinking about this, what I call the Doomsday theory. So, okay, we start off with the kickoff of the Doomsday is a horrible PBC in terms of performance, all right, as far as their numbers.
Right.
What about this, though? right? What about, because it is possible, right, that because boxing is about promoting fighters and investing in fighters. What if, hear me out, because I got to kind of get all of this out off my chest, and then I want your reactions because I'm going for it. What about the card doesn't perform well as far as the PBC card? You know, it doesn't perform well as far as numbers. Both Charlos lose.
Oh,
that's possible.
It's
and
possible.
That's where I wanted to, eventually I wanted to get you guys predictions on that, and we'll touch on that here in a little bit. So start thinking.
So and then on top of that, okay, what have they been doing all this time? They talk about across the street. They ultimately want the bigger fights that you just alluded to, right, Manny? So they want EJ to be able to be available for that fight. What if he loses to the cherry picker?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the other part. So that's the third part. And then finally, which this was a very, very high possibility.
Yeah, that one's gonna happen.
So
I already know where you're going with it.
Wilder loses.
Yeah, he's gonna lose.
So
that's pencil that one in. He's not beating Fury, no matter what.
So
done.
So my question is to my brothers is, would that be for Al Heyman, for as shrewd a businessman he is, and he's always preparing himself and has a plan B, C, and D? Would that be the doomsday scenario for him and put the PBC in a real tight situation?
Nah, I don't think it'll be the doomsday. It'll definitely be a bump, but they've got the depth in the stable to get out of it. I mean, if Danny wins, it's not the worst thing in the world. If he defeats Earl Spence Jr. because of the car accident, everybody's going to point to the car accident. We already know Wilder's going to lose to Fury, so that. I mean, nobody's. That's not going to be surprised or worried about that. Oh, you lost? Yeah, we knew you were going to lose. So no, I don't necessarily think. And then the Charlos, they both could lose. It already happened. It already happened once with Harrison defeated Jermell and Korobov. Everybody thought defeated Jermall. So
right. True.
It kind of already happened once. And
unanimous decision. Though. It wasn't anything that it's like, oh, wait a minute, they robbed. No, it was a clear victory for Tony Harrison.
So Manny, do you agree with our brother Howard? I mean, do you think it'll be a bad situation, but you think that
they'll survive? They'll be fine.
They'll survive. I just don't sleep on Jose Rosario. I mean, Jason Rosario.
Bananas.
He's a guy. The banana. He is a guy that is hungry. He has had pretty bad loss against Nathaniel Gilmore. Then he came back with Mark Anthony. Had a draw there. He is hungry.
So are you picking him to win?
I'm not saying right now. I can't.
You can tell when Manny's picking him to win because when he starts looking up in the lights,
he gets that tinkle in his eye.
I'm rooting for, in this particular case. I honestly think that Jermell will probably beat Jason Rosario.
That's what I'm leaning to.
I'm thinking
Jermell.
But when we talked about Jermell and Deverchenko,
I know I'm going with the different. I'm going with Sergey.
Why not? The guy is hungry. The guy's big. The guy can punch.
He's fought the better competition.
Exactly. And who has?
He just defeated Triple G.
There's not much to say.
Gringo, did you catch
it? Do you agree with us?
I mean,
are you on the boat?
Let me unpack everything you just said.
Are you going to watch the fight?
Maybe
are you going to watch the fight from the outside window?
No. I'll be right there with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and
conqueror.
The reason why, I mean, obviously I'm half man, half disappointment. I would be disappointed, but I wouldn't be surprised if what you guys said came to fruition. And I'm going to go ahead and say that actually I think that the Doomsday will be showing its ugly head, so to speak. I do predict both Charlos lose.
To lose?
You do?
That's not a bad prediction.
It's not.
It could happen. They're both fights.
So why do you feel that both of them will have a chance to lose? I mean, I could see
Sergey
really having battling with Deverchenko. This guy's not going to back out at all. But in terms of Jermell and Jason, I mean, he's got.
I think that one's more evenly matched.
Yeah, that's evenly matched, but he's got more experience than Jason. He seems to be,
and he does have power.
Yeah.
So,
and what concerns me is that Gallimore flattened Jason Rosario.
Exactly.
So.
But that was like what?
2017 though.
Yeah,
but still,
it happened.
I mean, it did happen though. I mean, if you knock me out, I've been knocked out. I'm not gonna try to switch it up on you.
You didn't knock me out, bro.
No,
it's
but
on
I mean,
tape, brother.
Yeah, no. But you did. And the good thing is that Jason came back. Jason came back and redeemed himself with that draw against Mark Anthony Hernandez. He fought Jorge Cota afterwards, and then he went into Julian Williams.
J-Rock.
He really performed well, knocking him down on the 5th round. So, I mean, the guy has power. The guy can definitely give a run for this money to Jermell. Honestly, that's the only fight the only Charlo, and I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I love to see both of them, and the reason why I love to see them both win. The reason why is for the good of the
characters.
Sport. We need these guys. We need PBC to step up, and we need these guys to continue to come up, whether we have to pay for pay-per-view or not. It is good for boxing because the middleweights, super middleweights, it's a very, very strong division. There's a lot of people there. We were talking about Berlanga, even the Brazilian Teixeira, too.
Teixeira.
You know, I mean, and even Canelo added into the mix. You know, Caleb Smith, Plant, Caleb Plant.
Right.
Well, so Billy Joe Sanders. I mean, this is a division that right now no one has it in control, and I think within these guys, they can start packing up these belts and unifying. They have the potential to do it, and they will have the following to back them up.
Well, yeah, I mean, to me, and kind of touching on to unpack the first part, no, Triple G did not lose to Sergeychenko, but it was very close, and I was entertained. I did catch that, by the way.
Out of all that,
I'm not asleep over here.
Hour, that's the one thing.
We love you, Gringo.
All right, but seriously, I actually feel better about Jason Banana Rosario winning because it is so close. But as crazy as it sounds, and yeah, I'm not hating on the Charlos. We give them a hard time on the show, but I grew up in the same neighborhood. I want them to win. It's better for boxing that the A side and the Stars
They're
win.
Angry asses.
Yeah, the angry asses win.
No,
but here's the thing. I actually think
butthurt about some.
I think that Rosario, he may not be as angry, but I think he's more hungry.
He is.
I think he's more hungry, and I think that he has enough intangibles to take him to the deep waters, he being Charlo, that he hasn't been before. I really think he's going to. Here's the thing.
And honestly, I had someone, sorry to interrupt you, but I had someone that asked me, so who is the favorite in here? So I was kind of explaining to him, listen, it's about more of a promotion, the hype of a boxer. It's like, but who should be the most favorite guy right now in this fight? And I said Jason. And they told me, why? Well, I thought Charlo. And I said, well, who's got more belts? You got the WBA Super Champion, and then you have the IBF Champion against one guy that has. But in this particular case, the Charlo's at the headline. And so there's a lot of confusion out there because even though that gives a lot of credit to Jason Rosario to possibly, coming strong and making a statement, probably beat him.
Because here's the thing, and I love what you just said right there, that you can't overlook the fact that J-Rock is a hell of a fighter. He's a man.
Oh, yeah.
He turned down the rematch because he knew he couldn't beat him. Yeah. He turned it down straight up.
I totally agree.
So I'm thinking, I don't know. Well, I know what it is. I just think that he has enough skills, tangible. And I'm not saying it's going to be like a wash. I'm saying it's going to be close. It's going to be a hell of a fight. That's why we're excited to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be glued. I may not eat when I'm watching. I may not.
I doubt it.
I doubt that.
I probably will.
Doubt it.
Okay, well.
You want to know the menu?
Maybe during the intermission. But my point is that I actually feel better about that one being an upset of one of the Charlos because realistically what I kind of hear consistently from people is that it kind of leans towards what you're saying as far as because we've seen Derevchenko in tough competition and really show his mettle and really impress, and we know what he's about. With Jason Rosario, it's really just kind of like the J-Rock fight, and then bits and pieces of where he hasn't performed as well. So we don't have that same
up and down.
Yeah, so up and down. We're not really sure what to get.
That's what
I'm thinking that we're on an upswing. I'm thinking that we're gonna get another up, and he's gonna be not just up. Think about what you just said, Manny. He's the champ.
I know.
Think about it, Manny. Piénsalo.
He's not trying to give that up.
And don't get me wrong, man. I would love for Santo Domingo, to bring another belt to their country.
Do they have parades? I'll go to that one too.
They have a parade, but I think that they need that. I mean, we need diversity, to be honest. And I think that Dominican Republic is doing a really good job with some of the up and coming boxers right now. And this is one of them. So if you guys don't know, Jason Rosario, I mean, he honestly has a legitimate chance to beat one of the Charlos.
Right. So I'll go ahead and say put it on the record for the show and just
loses. Both Charlos are going to lose.
Charlos lose.
And then we have one Charlo.
I have one. I think it'll be very close.
I have Sergey. Yeah, I have Sergey taking it.
I predict that both fights.
What are your thoughts about then, Jason? Chances to what Gringo just actually said right now?
No, that's pretty fair. I think because Jason has been, like we touched on it, so up and down, all over the place, and J-Rock is formidable as they come. He himself has had an up and down career. So Jermell and Jason, it's an intriguing matchup. It's evenly matched. As compared to the Sergey and Jermell, I think that one's a little more. I consider Sergey the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably go as high as 65, 35, 70, 30. That he's just proven himself to be in just a higher class than Jermell.
Yeah.
So far, and Jermell has been busy fighting the Hogans and the Adams of the world, while Sergey's fought Triple G, Daniel Jacobs, and extensive amateur career. These guys come over here already ready. He only has 13 fights or wins or so.
Still, when you look at just look at his resume, the last 5 fights.
Yeah.
I mean, that just says it all. Yeah. And even though with those 2 losses,
and his trainer, you always got to take into account.
I mean, you can't go wrong. That's like we talked about Sean Porter losing to Earl Spence. Guess what? He may have another opportunity to come back. It's just it wasn't your night. You got a better boxer in the other corner, and that's what's been pretty much for me what I've seen in Jason Rosario. But I agree, man. I think there is a really good opportunity. I'd love to see that, but for the love of the sport, Charlos, they really need to step up. They need to really come up, and you want to talk, you got to walk the walk.
So awesome. Yeah, definitely we want to touch on that, and hopefully we'll be in the house, in Manny's house, eating all of his food and sharing all the good times we're having with you guys, and we'll see who's right, who's wrong. But either way, I look at it as a win for boxing, because these are the kind of matchups that we want to see. Because realistically, even though I'm saying it like a doomsday, if the Charlos both were to lose, it would be bad for me. I don't want to be right, because then those other fighters will be like, well, see what happens when you take a chance? That's why I'm not going to go ahead and take those risks. So, if they can come out victorious.
But for the money, you eventually have to do it, Gringo.
Yeah,
because you're not just going to keep fighting anyone, number one contender that is not a unified, champion. And this is the opportunity. I mean, you're very close to be the undisputed junior middleweight. Completely.
At some point, you do have to go ahead and face the music. You can't just hide.
Well,
forever.
Right now you're gonna have more than half of what's for that, right? So later on after that, then you're definitely gonna have to come back and go for Teixeira and maybe Lara for that. I mean, I don't know how much will that mean for him, but I think capturing the WBO against Teixeira, which I think you're probably going to have to fight Brian Castano, number one challenger in that. But I don't see that fight to be like huge either for like major pay-per-view, and that would be my concern, is that let's say that Charlo would win, they want to be able to get the undisputed and fight against Patrick Teixeira. Is that a worthy another pay-per-view for them? And that's the problem that I have with this, is every time that these guys they come up with a fight, they have some good fighters, but they're not at the level that we as fans expect them to see. Let's get these guys with Canelo, at least the other Charlo at the middleweight. Why don't we get, Triple G mixing the ball? Bubu Andrade needs to be there, for Jermell. These are some of the fights, and I don't know what's holding them back, and it's taking them so long to finally get, some of the fights that us fans want to see. And I think that's the frustration that PVC has, and that's one of the things I may agree with you on the pay-per-views, is a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to pay PVC.
No, that's what my fear is.
Yeah.
So, kind of touching on this real quick, and then we'll kind of touch on maybe some quick predictions on some of the fights they have this upcoming weekend. But quickly, this was kind of a surprise to me. White Provokin 2.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be all the way in, they're not even waiting 90 days.
That's crazy.
In November.
Hearn's trying to get rid of White. I don't know what he's doing, man. He just got knocked out. You don't want to fight. If I'm in Dylan White's corner, I'm not fighting the rest of the year. I mean, I just got knocked out. I need to get my bearings.
Well, I think it's because he had the fight
fine
Well, he was winning the fight. He was winning the fight.
I was impressed by Dylan. He's a big boy.
Yeah, no, he fought real good. He looked real sharp. His strength's still there. He actually knocked him. I mean, he had the fight. He was winning the fight till that point, but he didn't see that uppercut coming.
No, but Povetkin was actually setting it up throughout the fight, and then he slipped the punches.
So you think he'll get caught up with another uppercut like that?
I think it's very possible. Yeah. Dylan White impressed me with his physique. If you look at it when he fought AJ, he was a little thinner, a little slimmer. I don't know if he's taking those steroid cocktails of his, but he was a big boy against Povetkin. I remember watching. I said, "Damn, dude's been he's probably
eating the same tacos that Canelo was eating at that
time."
Whoa!
Moving on.
Tainted meat, sir. It's a problem in Mexico.
All right, so talk about another rematch that was kind of surprising because we had pretty much foregone conclusion that this person had retired. So Cecilia Brækhus,
and Jessica McCaskill.
They're gonna run it back
again. She probably just wants another payday. Yeah.
So like she was all emotional, retired, and then she was like, "Oh, I got bills."
That's right. Yeah. You know how much you gonna give me for?
Well, I mean, it has to happen, right?
Yeah.
I think.
She's probably her last cash out, maybe.
Yeah,
she looked out.
And not only that, I think it's. I believe that they probably pushed her. They probably pushed Cecilia.
Put some pressure on her.
There has to be a rematch clause. We can get the rematch. We can get more money. We can get money. I'm sure that's the case, and I don't think she can beat her. And the rematch, I don't know. I just think that
Jessica's coming on at the right time. And
she's just
because Cecilia is already on her way
she's
out.
On out.
And how great would that look on her resume?
Oh yeah, beat her absolutely twice.
So that was kind of a surprise there. So
and if actually Cecilia can beat McCaskill, would it be a 3-1? There you go. You don't want it, but hey, guess what? We get a trilogy going on, and that in your resume would look phenomenal.
That's the thing they're saying right now with Matchroom because they're kind of giving the hard rematch room. They're kind of giving that moniker right there because they look at the numbers and look where they've been, and they're like, "Hey, we can run this back and make this amount of money," like you said.
Yeah. Yep.
So can't really knock them, but yeah, both really kind of surprised me. Like at first I thought initially when I saw the little posters, I like, okay, these are fake. But no, they're real as hell, and I'm shocked. But at the same time, I mean, hey, it's boxing. Yeah. So, Manny, your guys fighting this weekend.
This weekend, ESPN Plus. We have an opportunity right now to once again. There's a couple of fights coming up, but I want to touch base on 3 of the major ones. Frevian Gonzalez is 3-0. He'll be fighting Carlos Marrero. Frevian is another great top Puerto Rican prospect. He's from. He's very well known in Ceiba, and there's a lot of promising things that will happen with him as well. Then we have once again, he's at the bubble, ESPN bubble. Felix La Sombra Caraballo. He will be fighting Cuban's gold medalist Robesi Ramirez.
Tough match.
2012 gold medalist.
Doesn't get easier
in the flyweight. He defeated Michael Conley in the semifinals, and then he came back the year after that and beat Shakur Stevenson in the Rio Olympics at the bantamweight division. So, I know we text about this a little bit, and I'm curious to kind of understand what you were saying, because you said that finally, or something you were saying that finally he's the headliner or not. What were your thoughts about that? Or maybe a legit chance, or were you underestimating Robesi
Ramirez?
Oh, no, well, yeah, that's the thing. I wasn't really sure who was. I'm sure.
Robesi?
Yeah, he's the A side, right?
Okay, yeah. So that's what you said. That if he was the A side, correct?
If he's not, that'd be the shocker.
Horrible promotion.
I know.
What are we doing here?
But the good thing about it is that Felix is getting some more exposure. After the devastating fight against Shakur Stevenson, actually, very first fight that ESPN started with the bubble. Yeah. He's getting another big opportunity in this.
Back in the bubble.
This could get him to a different level. If he's able to beat, the Cuban prospect. On the main event, Jose Sniper Pedraza. He, after the win of Les Pierre last July, he's coming for his quest in becoming a 4-time world champion. That's still available. He just needs to go against Javier Molina, 22-2 with 9 knockouts. So, Molina got a chance now after he beat Miramon back in February, and now those two are going at it. We know for a fact there's just two champions in that division right now. Soon to be consolidated after Ramirez finally would fight Josh Taylor. Speculations are that either both of these guys or one of them will move up. Ramirez may do that. I don't know, but there are some possibilities for El Sniper to probably capture a fourth, division title.
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. The Vegas line has it pretty much a 50-50 fight, but the steam is starting to go to Molina.
Absolutely.
Learned that term from my brother Hopper, so that means that the money
follows
the money. So
Right.
that's basically saying that Molina may be the favorite by the time the fight actually begins.
It could be, and then so if Hopper's looking at that money line, then I'm sure I know where he's going.
Might make a little weight.
Little wager.
All right, so can't get out of here without giving a shout out to our man Nestor Bravo.
Nestor Bravo, FS1
on Wednesday, not like a Wednesday night card.
Wednesday.
That's awesome.
This
Yeah,
is
we
a
were
really
sad
good,
because we were missing the summer series that people get
Tuesdays.
crap about. Tuesday, Thursdays. I got used to them.
There you go.
I loved it.
PVC
I miss it.
coming out.
I wouldn't mind a nice fall Wednesday series.
I know.
A
Well,
little mini series.
problem is we got Wednesday, then Thursday night football, then Friday teleboxeo, then Saturday. I mean, are we gonna have time for anything?
Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
Sorry, family.
I know, right? Yeah.
Speaking of family, real quick before we get off the air, want to give an early birthday shout out to my beautiful wife. She turns 32.
Oh,
this
congratulations.
Saturday. This Saturday, the 19th. I don't know how she put up with me for so long, but she has
Wow.
almost
How?
15
Can I
years
ask
together.
Thank you so much.
Feliz cumpleaños, mi amor.
Feliz
Parte
Parte de todos.
cumpleaños.
Yeah, she's our first camera woman.
Yeah, she
I know.
was.
Yeah, lovely.
That was awesome, man.
No, she's
that is
awesome.
good.
She helps out so much. She's my
Yeah.
rock. I love her.
That's
much
awesome.
love. That's
Much
awesome.
love.
A ver,
Part of
¿qué
the
hacemos?
family.
Amor, nos vamos al baile.
Woo! Tu familia es mi familia,
Yes,
and that's
sir.
pretty good. But going back to quickly to Nestor Bravo, he's a very talented kid. 18-0 with 13 knockouts. He'll be fighting Jose Luis Gallegos, a pretty tough opponent. 19-8, 14 knockouts. 23rd of September, Arecibo, Puerto Rico. We had him on the show at one point. He got a lot of potential, so this is an opportunity for him to shine for the first time with PBC, and who knows what's going to happen with them, but we were rooting a lot for him.
Really, really, really going to be rooting for him. I mean, that's the thing when you start to get to connect and learn these young fighters, and you want to push for them to have this opportunity like we're seeing right here. He wins. I mean, fighting on their card, being the main event, the A side at that. I mean, you would imagine that he would at that point be signed.
Yeah.
Even if not, I want him to win regardless and have a good showing. I'm just excited. I mean, anytime these young fighters that are out there to have a chance to be successful, we're always pulling for him. And go Nestor.
Go Nestor.
We're so excited.
Excited for you, papi.
Échale
Love you,
ganas.
Arecibo. En vivo. Podcast 59.
Fuera.
Nos vemos. Que viva México.
Woo.
Yeah.
Ay.